with a great product. So it's very exciting for me.
Yes, okay, and we are so excited that you are with us today. Mr. Reza from Westminster, would you please give us your title and introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everybody. I'm Reza. I'm Westminster College London Director, and I'm really happy that I have joined this webinar, and I will be presenting about the literacy, the power of literacy, and also introducing Westminster College London to you. Thank you, Nagla.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so everyone, I want to tell you what is literacy and why we are using this terminology or term, the term literacy. In Egypt, all of the teachers, they used to say that we are teachers for and for the early years. Let me tell you that this is the literacy teaching stage, okay? We are working with literacy. And what is literacy and what's the power of literacy? Let's see that literacy is what we really need for getting knowledge or to learn. This is literacy. Literacy is the power of reading and writing. Okay, we need the literacy to learn. Okay, literacy is not only learning, literacy is for reading and writing and of course comprehending the information effectively. So those who cannot read and write, they are not educated and they can hardly get their own knowledge from the world. So if you are a teacher who's working with this stage, you need to know more about how can you take your student to the foundation for learning and the communication skills and how to let them socialize and develop in the their social environment. Imagining and creativity comes from the literacy. You have to take their hands to this skill, the imagination and creativity. To be a creative creature, you have to be reading and writing and getting knowledge and knowing everything. The emotional growth and to express yourself with the emotional intelligence and tell that you're angry, you are happy, and so on. These are things that the teacher of this stage should know and should really give these skills for the children. Actually, if we are not teachers who can use our skills to teach them literacy and to teach them and to help them to live in our environment, this could be hard to be a teacher at this stage. You can teach any other stage, but it's not easy to teach the early year stage. Of course, culture awareness to know that he is an Arab, he's living in Arab country, he's in Europe, he's living in China. He need to know the differences of the culture and need to be aware of what he is living in. And of course, the lifelong learning comes from this very basic skill. Okay, so today we have Yvonne Delertu and Mr. Reza. First, I'd like to let Mr. Reza perform or read his. Okay, people are coming and this interrupts me. Okay, I should have waited for them first before talking. Okay, hello everyone. Okay, you are late. Okay, so Mr. Reza, would you please tell us what you wanted to tell us about Westminster and the power of literacy? Okay, so Yvonne, until Mr. Reza join us again, would you please tell us literacy? What is literacy through the prospect of Jolly Learning? What's literacy?
Well, literacy, well, thank you very much for asking me that question, because it's one of the things that we often assume comes very easily for children. And as you mentioned in your introduction, it's very important that children have a lot of the foundation knowledge in place before we move on to more structural delivery. So with Jolly Learning products, with the Jolly English, Jolly Phonics, and Jolly Literacy, which will take over the name of Jolly Grammar. What we are delivering is a structured approach that children will become familiar with the connection of what a letter shape is and the letter sound and how it all goes together. But more than anything, the program pulls together all the resources so that this can be done in a very easy way for the child to make sense of everything they're learning. And then as they're moving forward on this learning spiral, that we go back to that foundation stage, but also we're scaffolding their knowledge, moving up to the higher levels of grammar. It is essential. So literacy is more than just reading and writing. What we are helping children to do is develop life skills so that they are also decoding and making sense of what they are reading, and also reversing that skill. So what they are reading, they are also writing. There are so many things we have to embrace when we're doing reading and writing, but also understanding that the pillars go beyond just those skills as we understand with the science of reading. And the science of reading has shown us that children need to have knowledge. Without knowledge, words do not mean anything. Without understanding how sentences are formed and that deeper understanding, nothing has any meaning. We have children just repeating. So as you are teaching the program, be aware that it has to be going to a greater capacity. I'm getting a lot of feedback. I think people have got their background noises on.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Please. Would you please all of you mute? Okay.
Okay. So shall I go on to the next question, Nagla?
Yes, yes, please. The next question is, which is, I was sending, why is specialized training essential for early year stage educators? Do they really need to be trained? Do they really need any training for literacy? I think, and most of the people think that literacy is an easy thing. So why should we get a training for this? Why should we try to find something new to do this? They are only little children.
The most important thing about children under a certain age is their capacity of cognitive development. If you, the teacher, do not understand the ages and stages of how a child learns, you may be asking a child to do something it is not ready for. And in your judgment, without having that knowledge, you would then think, oh, that child might have dyslexia. That child may have ADHD. How do you know that? So I would say that anyone who is going to work with younger children, invest some time in understanding what we say are benchmarking in early years. It is not uncommon for many countries to say we do not start formal teaching until a child is 6. Because when a child is 6, they have a greater understanding of what is required. They can do letter formation. They can master things quicker. But we also recognize that dripping in education can be beneficial, giving children a great foundation to scaffold their knowledge. If you are just teaching to meet your desires and not the child, you will always fail. What we've got to understand is that handwriting is the last thing that children are able to do. But we need to provide making opportunities so that they can develop their hand-to-eye coordination and also their fine motor skills. If they're learning dual languages, they may be different symbolic languages. How are you addressing that sound that may be in one symbol and also in another symbol? What environment are you providing for children with that rich language acquisition, such as stories? And also, how are you interacting with the child so that they are building up their language skills? So everything that we have in place is designed that children are receptive, but also engaged. So having training for yourself, it will give you a broader understanding of exactly what can be done at desired times. We can't get a 2-year-old to write, but we can get a 2-year-old to play around with finger and paint. We can get children to develop their vocabulary, but they also need something which is called dual coding. They need to see the image, they need to hear the word. They may need it in 2 languages. So you, as a facilitator of education, not a teacher, if you're doing the phonics teaching or things like that, remember that to be a teacher means that you need to understand the psychology of a child and also the philosophy of teaching. I would say that it is worth the time and investment to do some self-study to understand these principles of how children learn so that you can be the best teacher possible within your nursery setting with very young children. And
Okay,
you will understand how it works.
Yvonne, you really inspired me with a question, another question. Can we say that a phonics teacher differ from being an English teacher? Because when we say English teacher, so she teaches English with analytically everything about English, reading, writing, listening, speaking, and so on. But the phonics teacher, she's only not only, but most of the time she's concerned with the sounds, concerned with the phonics, concerned with the reading and writing skills. So do you think that the phonics teacher is something special from being general English teacher?
Okay,
So we can be
yeah.
specialist also?
You've got to remember that if you're teaching English to a child who has, English as a second language, whatever program you use, you are constantly getting language and vocabulary in place. So you can have the best phonics program in the world, but if the child doesn't understand the words it's been asked to decode and segment, it means nothing to them. So it is really important. It's a balance between the two. I was a teacher in Spain for 20 years, working in a dual environment where children needed vocabulary acquisition along with phonics instruction. To make it work and meaningful, it's a combination of both things. How are you giving the child the vocabulary? How is that becoming meaningful? Most of the time, it is incredibly difficult to do an activity where you are identifying everything in that activity, giving it the English or Arabic translation so children know. So we focus on 3 or 4 key images where we can do the blending and the segmenting. I would say that any English teacher who wants to do better with their English class, having knowledge of how to use synthetic phonics will certainly enhance your teaching, because if you are preparing for the English level exams, your children need to know how to use English not only for the exam component. And this is a big problem with schools. You can train your children for the exam, but how are you training them for life? So just providing them with exam skills is not going to prepare them for university or for real life skills. So a program like Jolly Phonics and Jolly Literacy actually gets children using English in a more as a lifestyle way, in a better way that they can apply it to any area of English use, the sciences, history, geography, anywhere they pursue, they can take those skills. So this is a big difference. If you are teaching English, are you teaching just for the exam? Are you teaching just for that lesson? Or are you providing the scaffolding that those skills can be used in all the subjects that that child might do in English. And also, what I would say, in many schools, we say all the teachers should be trained so they know how to keep the children on track. You know, they may not be English teachers, but if they're history teachers, they can say to a child, you can decode that, you can segment it, you know how to look at that difficult word. So
Okay.
it is important.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Another questions about trainers. Okay, yeah, and I asked you this question several times in several meetings. Okay, the difference between the native trainer and the foreigner trainer, the local trainer and trainers coming from abroad. You know, most of the teachers, they like to be trained by another trainer for getting new culture, or to know how do other countries present this topic or that topic or whatever. Yeah. You know, for the local trainer, I'm Nagla Deeb. I have my own style. I have my own methodology, and that's what I'm doing at all schools. But about different, Yvonne Dalerto, if Yvonne Dalerto is in Egypt, so she is transferring her culture and other cultures or the experiences she passed through. So do you think this is useful for the Egyptian child?
Okay. Part of me is wondering why you'd want to know what Spain is doing because you can't apply it to Egypt. Part of me would want to know that beyond the interest of understanding what other countries might be doing, how can that be meaningful to your curriculum? What we like to do is endorse our local trainers because the local trainers understand the difficulties and also the complexities of one, having mastered English as a second language, two, have then done some professional development with that, and then also understand how it works in your school environment. What I have been doing in many other countries, how can you apply that to your school curriculum? I could go to Cairo and support Nagla doing a training, but where I would have my areas of speciality are ones where we have a common theme, maybe dyslexia, maybe children who have special educational needs. But certainly, I think it is incredibly important that the local trainer who understands the complexity of the curriculum, the school demands, and also parents' demands are able to work with schools and deliver something that is going to be successful. You can't take what is working in one country and try and make it work in another country because, as we've mentioned, we have cultural demands, curriculum demands, and also what the expectations of the children are. So it is wonderful to hear what is happening. Here in England, we talk a lot about what's happening in Finland. Very successful. Would it work in England? No way. We don't have the culture to support it. So I would say, and I endorse wholeheartedly, local trainers who absolutely know everything that is going on within their country and also be able to deliver our program to fit their cultural dynamics. And that is the most important thing. It's like having one recipe, but you can change some of the elements in it to meet with what people like and what they need. So I strongly support local knowledge and local training.
Okay, Mr. Reza, you can have your own slide.
Okay, hello everybody.
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you. So is my voice clear? All right. as I said, I'm going to talk about Westminster College London because we are providing or we are offering dual courses in Egypt with Ms. Nagla. As you know, Westminster College London is globally recognized, and it's a, well-known company in the TEFL market and also in teacher training. So Westminster College is accredited by Focus Awards. In the UK, Focus Awards is an awarding body. In the UK, it is just like Cambridge and Trinity College. So as you know, we have more than 160 awarding bodies in the UK. And Focus Awards, Cambridge and Trinity College are just a few of them. We have like level 5 TEFL, teaching English as a foreign language. It is the same as CELTA. Both CELTA and level 5 TEFL are regulated by Ofqual, and they are the same level. But level 5 TEFL is more flexible in comparison with CELTA. It is much cheaper. So we can say that they have the same accreditation and the same credibility, but the brand is different. CELTA is the brand of Cambridge, and level 5 TEFL is the brand that Westminster College is using. We have also other courses like level 5 diploma in education training, internal quality assurance, higher level teaching assistant, certificate in assessing vocational achievement, and certificate in supporting teaching and learning in the schools. All of these courses are regulated by Ofqual and recognized in the UK as national qualifications. Westminster is also accredited by the CPD in the UK for the non-regulated courses like the TESOL course, level 7 diploma in TESOL, teaching IELTS. The difference between non-regulated and regulated course is that regulated courses or qualifications are accredited by the government, but non-regulated courses are considered to be just CPD courses. So if you, teachers are going to CVs and do CPD courses, and also it can also be used for visa purposes as courses. And Westminster College has centers in different countries, just like UK, Greece, Egypt, UAE, Uzbekistan, Malaysia, Myanmar, India, Turkey, South Africa. So we are present in many countries, and the students from different countries are doing their courses with us. And we have been in business for more than 10 years, and we have trained more than 15,000 students. So it was just an introduction to Westminster College London. Ms. Nagla, if you want me to...
Yes, please.
Okay. Which one?
Yes, of course.
Okay, let me continue with this one. Maybe you think that you say that, okay, what is the benefits of having a program or a course or a certificate accredited by Westminster College?
Yes.
As I said, the global recognition of Westminster College. Westminster College is highly reputable, and its accreditation ensures that programs meet international standards. So that enhances the value globally. Quality assurance. If we are going to talk about quality assurance, we can say that these courses have undergone rigorous evaluation to meet high standards or international standards. And next thing is that professional advantage. If you have a certificate accredited by Westminster College, in the job market. As I said, flexibility. Many employers and also educational institutions recognize and accept certificates from Westminster College. So we can be assured that your certificate will be accepted in every country or everywhere that you are going to work. Yes.
Okay. So, and this accreditation is internationally, worldwide known, and it's very important for the job market, as you said. Okay. So for the teachers who are teaching, for the early educators, do they really need such accreditation?
Yes, certainly.
Okay.
Let me just.
And does this allow them to work in multinational schools or international schools everywhere?
Yes, as I said, and they can also apostilled by the Foreign and Commonwealth Office in the UK. So graduates can be assured that they can use their certificates in other countries for visa purposes, immigration, for even teaching online. We have had many students who are teaching online.
Yes. So
countries, Asian countries.
Yes. So teachers who are seeking a job opportunity abroad or in any other country except Egypt, they can find this easily when they are carrying this certificate for literacy teaching. That's what we are saying.
Yes, they can use it.
So clearly, it's very important to teachers who really want to work abroad or to work in an international school here in Egypt. So it's most recommended for all teachers to do such course and to take this accreditation and take this certificate, because if you are seeking a good job opportunity, you can, I think you have to take this certificate. Okay. So thank you, Mr. Reza. And back to Yvonne.
No problem.
Okay.
Hello.
Yvonne. Yes, Yvonne. Okay. So again, Yvonne, we are talking about the importance of being trained if you are a literacy teacher. Okay. So now we are talking about the accreditation and certificate. If you are carrying whatever certificate on earth, you can hardly work with young learners or the early years students if you really don't know how to do this. So certificates are very important to ensure you a good job opportunity. But if you are a weak teacher or a teacher who is not trained or a teacher who cannot use a good program, or a teacher who doesn't have the ability to choose a curriculum to work with, you are not working anywhere. Am I right?
Well, yes. And I mean, I'll first start because I get a lot of emails and inquiries every day asking how to become a professional accredited trainer, for example, to teach Jolly Phonics or Jolly Literacy. You have to be a qualified teacher. That is the starting point. We do not make anyone now who hasn't got a teaching qualification into a trainer. So that will give you an indication on how thoroughly we see that the program needs to have a very good understanding. Also, if you're going to be teaching, again, your training course gives you a certificate, but that does not make you an accredited teacher.
Yes.
Being a teacher requires years of training so that you understand the principles that support. And the one thing I would say is that remember, as a teacher, you can change a child's life. A bad teacher will damage a child, and a good teacher will enhance a child. So you've got to be mindful of exactly what you are doing if you are not a teacher and you are going out teaching phonics. what responsibilities you need to have to do it correctly. And I'm not saying that people don't do a good job. They do a very good job because they've done a lot of support and they've done courses, like you're saying, they've done courses to support that knowledge. It is very important to invest in your own self-development. And if you have a place like Westminster College that can support that, they probably have got their courses right to the core of what you need to know. So that saves you having to hunt around and look for a specialist platform. They've refined it down, they know what you want. But equally, in this competitive job market, the more you can bring to a job, the more you can bring to your CV, puts you in a much better place, clearly. So it really is important to make that investment with time and also self-development to become a good teacher, a desirable teacher.
Yeah, yes, okay. How long does it take for a teacher to be a good teacher for the early years stage?
Are you talking about university, Nagla, or?
No, I'm talking about experience. No, not university.
Okay. Well, experience can be like a piece of string. Where do you start and where do you finish? Because for most university or students who do a formation to learn how to do nursery education, part of that involves actually going and working in a place and being mentored and monitored. As you know, the first few years can be very challenging as you get to understand how children are. And of course, what we do realize is there is a higher percentage of children with special educational needs that we never had before, and they are coming through much earlier than they did before, especially after post-COVID. I would say that anyone who is thinking about working in early years certainly understand the expectations of the child, what they are able to do. Yeah, and what they are able to do and how you navigate the planning to reach those benchmarks and goal setting. Because every child is completely different. But in a general sense, we know that most 3-year-olds can get to one point, most 4-year-olds can get to another point. It's knowing the general standards. So it could take years. I look back at when I first started working with young children, I made terrible assumptions because I didn't have the experience. And now I recognize that a child born in January is completely different to a child born in December. And also, and generally, most children reach the same type of goals by the time they're 6 or 7. Yeah. It's giving them time to get there. Yeah.
Okay, let's play a game, Yvonne. Let's play a game, Reza. Okay. Assume that you are a school principal and now you're having a teacher who's coming to you and she wants to work as a teacher in your school. What questions are you going to ask her, Yvonne? And then I'll ask the same question to Reza. Prepare yourself. What questions are you going to ask the teacher who's coming to your school to work with the early year age students?
How old are the students?
3, 4, 5.
Okay. I would ask them to tell me about their successes of working with children about those ages, the challenges of equally working with those ages, and more importantly, what programs they have been using to support the learning. There's a lot of feedback. Don't know if I can hear you, if you can hear me.
Yeah, yes, we can hear you, but I don't know what's wrong here. Yes.
Yeah.
Please mute yourself, please, teachers. Mute yourself, all of you, please. Thank you. So you would ask about the program or the curriculum she is holding?
Well, I would ask them their successes, their failures, and also their aspirations. because I think it's very good if a teacher can recognize where they have failed or made a mistake and how they have improved on that. Because if you recognize you're vulnerable and then you want to make sure that you are improving yourself, that's a massive thing for a school, to know that a teacher is willing to be improved and make that leap. And also their understanding of the capabilities of the children who they are working with. What are the desired outcomes for the children I'm working with? Because if you have someone come in saying by 3 years old, I want a child to write, then they're not the person I want to employ. If they say I want a 3-year-old to do mark making, to be curious about print, to be engaged in stories, that's the kind of teacher I want.
Yes. Okay, excellent answer. Okay, Mr. Reza, what are the questions you are going to ask a teacher who's coming to your school to work? Okay. Okay. Would you please, Yvonne, ask him the question if he can't hear me?
What are the expectations? What are the questions you would ask teachers coming to you for a job?
I would ask about their teaching philosophy. How do they, for example, encourage curiosity, creativity, promote independence in young learners? I think it is important that the teacher who is going to work with kids under the age of 6 who can collaborate with them. It's really difficult to control those kids because nowadays they see everything. They watch, they learn everything from TVs, social media. So it's really difficult to control them and teach them. So the teacher should be very, expert in his or in her job to work and collaborate with the kids. So I think teaching philosophy can be game changing for them.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So you mean working with the synthetical education or multisensory playing or doing things that differs from the traditional way of teaching, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah,
And also
yes.
working with parents. Okay.
Yeah. Important point.
These teachers should work very well with the parents, work closely with them, and to get consultation from them regarding the child's behavior, and also give feedback to the parents regarding the kids' behavior in the classroom, and also their improvement and developments.
Yes, you're right. Okay. So in your careers, both of you, can you share a moment that reinforced your commitment to literacy in education? Yvonne.
Yes, I spent many years working for children who have English as a second language, but also special educational needs. And I worked for several years in a school where this was very high. And we often don't realize how important it is, for one, that English as a second language can break the cycle of poverty in a country where children have literacy skills and can work. They can finish their school education and get a job, which can make a big difference in a country that has to employ people from abroad. So this is really important for that side. And also children who have special educational needs, they want to be independent. They want to be able to express themselves in some way. So this changed my approach to literacy, that everyone deserves the opportunity to learn how to express themselves, to write, and have a life skill. Imagine if you did not know how to read letters, you could not read my name. You cannot read these questions. Just imagine that child who has no understanding of what that shape means. So, in order to break the cycle of poverty, to give children better quality of life, for me, my drive is literacy for everyone, not the elite. It's a life skill.
Yes, it's a life skill. Yes. Okay, Mr. Reza, can you share moments of your career that reinforce you to be committed to literacy in education?
We have with reading,
Okay, he can't hear me.
interactive phonics method.
It's question number 3 on the slide, Reza, if you can see it. Question number 3.
Yes, experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last one, message to change lives. You know, it's really enjoyable when you see, for example, kids who are not able to read, then they come to the classroom, they use your resources on your classes, then you will see how they are improving, they start to read, they are learning. So it really motivates you as a teacher to continue what you are doing. As I said, our belief in liter sorry, and our belief in literacy. I hope that I could answer the question.
Yes, you did. Okay. Okay. Teachers, I think we come to our end because it's been an hour now. So I leave the time for teachers to ask their questions if they do have any questions. Okay. Any questions? No
Hello,
questions?
Mrs. Hinda.
Hello, dear.
Okay, I have a question. If I
Yes.
have in the same class different levels in the class, so maybe sometimes I find high achievers, and with this high achievers, there are some mediocre students.
So,
Okay. Every classroom has differentiation. Every teacher has this dilemma of high achievers in the middle, and usually there's quite a percentage at the bottom. This is where you need to have a good understanding of the program you are delivering and also how you can differentiate that teaching concept into 5 different ways. So you are not only addressing the learning styles, but also the differentiation within your class. Any teacher that I work with will always say, everybody, the whole class is on a scale. So how do you motivate your high achievers and how do you engage with your lower levels? It all comes down to your planning. So say, for example, you have the teacher's book in Jolly Phonics with all your plan. You cannot use that one plan as it is for all your children. You have to understand what the core teaching components are and work out, how do I reach the top player? What do I need for the middle, and how do I reinforce the bottom? And this is where the skill of using the program really helps. And maybe Nagla can help you with this, because the diversity of teaching is knowing what everyone has the same opening, everyone listens to the core, and then I differentiate on what I want them to do. And then I need to be mindful of the ones at the lower. So I do understand where you're coming from. Every teacher is finding there's more at the bottom than there was at the top. And it is very hard. So I do
Yes.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Rasha, for the question. I hope you heard the answer.
Thank
Okay.
you. Okay, thank
Any
you.
other questions? Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Yvonne, for this great.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And sorry for the connection issues. We will try again, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's winter time, as usual, we know. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Reza, for your
Thank you for
attendance,
having me.
for being with us, for presentation, and for everything. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I hope we can meet again in any other time with good weather. Thank you,
Yes.
everyone.
Thank
Okay. And thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.